Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English, and this is your favorite YouTuber Mukesh SONI. Friends, in this video we shall have the discussion of the very famous poem titled Bankers Are Like Anybody Else Except Richer, composed by famous poet Reparations Nash. And this poem is in the syllabus of second semester BCA and B.Sc Generic English under Bangalore City University. In this video, I'm going to summarize the poem, and also at the end of the summary, we are going to have the discussion of some important questions that will help us to revise the whole poem. And if you look into the description box, you'll get all the lessons, videos, links in the description box, the lesson summary, and the last 2 or 3 years question paper solution also you'll get in all the videos links you'll get in the description box. So now without much delay, let's begin the summary of the poem. Bankers are like anybody else except richer. So about the poem, bankers are just like anybody else except richer, composed by Ogden Nash, and this poem criticizes the banking system as a pro-rich and anti-poor. So Ogden Nash poem satirizes the contradictory lending practices of banks, highlighting their prioritizing of wealthy borrowers. The poem also critiques banks' stinginess towards those who are in need, and while depicting their eagerness to lend to the wealthy people. So they give loan to the wealthy people, not to the poor people. Compared to Nash's other work, this poem maintains his humorous and satirical style and mocking social economic conventions. So within the context of its time period, the poem reflects the economic disparities and wealth inequality prevalent during the post-World War II era. So that's a brief information about the poem. Now, stanza-wise, we'll try to understand. In the stanza 1, we see here the poem begins by celebrating banks, portraying them as a place which is filled with money. The sounds within the banks are described as clinks and the clanks, or the wind in the trees, and these sounds represent the noise of money. In the stanza 2, the poet describes bankers as they are residing in the luxurious marble halls. They achieve this by encouraging the people to deposit money while discouraging them not to withdraw that. By discouraging withdrawals, he humorously critiques a fundamental rule followed by the bankers that, what is a fundamental rule? Only lend money to those who don't actually need it. Only lend money to those people who don't actually require it. In the stanza number 3, the poet criticizes banks for being overly cautious and conservative. If someone is struggling to pay rent, banks will deny them a loan, showing indifference to their plight. So the poet has used a metaphor called Tarzan. The poet has used the metaphor Tarzan to emphasize the disdain the banks have for the people in need. So they are not looking for the needy people. Then in the stanza 4, the poet says, if wealthy individuals want to borrow more money, banks are eager to oblige. They willingly lend large amount to the already wealthy people, and also in this manner they increase their wealth. This practice is depicted as a very absurd practice, and still such kind of practice is still going on in the banking world. So in the stanza 5, the poet illustrates the ease, the comfort with which banks are ready to lend to the rich people, noting how vice presidents of the bank unanimously approve such loans without hesitation. So they're ready to give the loan to rich people, and without any hesitation, even the vice presidents of the banks also can easily approve. So the focus is on the irony that banks are readily lending the loans to those people who already have the financial security, they're not giving the loans easily to the people who really require the loan. In the stanza 6, the poem concludes by mocking those people who claim that health and happiness are important, more important than money. The poet argues that money is essential because without it, even the pursuit of health and happiness becomes impossible. He suggests that the disdain for money vanishes quickly when people find themselves in need of it. So the charm for the money will go immediately when you don't get the money when you are in need of it. So in this manner, we find here the poet humorously criticizing the banking system's practices, highlighting the irony and the absurdity in how banks prioritize lending to the wealthy people and ignore those people who really need money in the real sense. So through his witty and satirical tone, Nash shows the paradoxical role of money in the society. So that's a summary, and now we are going to revise the whole summary of the poem "Bankers Are Rich." Anybody else except richer, like anybody else except richer. So now let's have the discussion of the questions with respect to with reference to your textbook. So very first question, pick out the words that describe the sounds in bank and how do they add to the effect of the poem. So clings and the clunks, these are the words. The banks will let us hear the clink clunk sound of the coins and the rustling sound of the currency notes. Of course, money is an attraction that draws people towards it always and forever. So these sounds will always remind us the importance of money. How has he described the buildings of banks? What impression do you get of the banks from this physical description? The poet comments that bankers dwell in the luxurious buildings with the marble halls because they encourage depositors and they discourage the people who would like to withdraw the money. So, whom do bankers stare at as uppity apes? Why are they looked at why are they looked at like this? When a needy requests $50 to pay for a baby, the banker stares as uppity apes, and they look like because they are not a rich customer for them. For them, they are not like rich customers. Then, does the speaker believe that bankers are conservative? And why does he or she use this word? Yes, the speaker believes that bankers are conservative because they deny lending money to the needy people. Then, whom do the banks treat compassionately and why? The bankers treat compassionately to the rich customers, because they deposit, they don't withdraw, and they discourage the people who would like to withdraw, who would like to lend money from them. Then who are the jackasses, who are the jackass, oh I'm sorry how to pronounce it, jacks. And why are they called as the jacks are the silly people who go around and saying that health and happiness are everything and money is not essential. So they are called as the silly people. So, friends, this is how I try to solve the lesson. Bankers are like anybody else except richer with the help of the questions. And if you see in the description box, you'll get all the lessons, videos, links, the grammar link, and the last 2 years question paper solution also. So, thank you so much for watching this video. Click on the like button, share the video, subscribe the channel. And if you have any questions, you can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Stay connected with Mukesh English.